What's going on, all my toy collectors and turtle fans out there? You know who it is. It's your boy Ox, and welcome to the Cave of Wonders. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon Tokka and Rahzar 2-pack by Neca Toys and seeing how they compare to the other Tokka and Rahzar 2-pack based off of the 90s Secret of the Ooze movie, also made by Neca Toys, and the retro 1991 Tokka and Rahzar by Playmates. Let's crack this baby open and take a closer look. Okay, now here's taking a look at the front of the box. You can see right here that old Ninja Turtles logo right there. You can see the name of the two characters that are in this 2-pack, Tokka and Rahzar, a clear package window of the two figures and all the accessories that come with them. Then right here in the corner, you can see a cool cartoon image of Tokka and Rahzar. Now, if you don't know who these characters are, they actually didn't play a big role in this cartoon. I think they might have showed up in the maybe 7th or 8th season or something like that, but they didn't play a big role in that late 80s, early 90s cartoon, but they did play a big role in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. These two were the main antagonists against the Turtles before they had to fight Super Shredder, so that's basically who these two characters are based off of. Now, I've already measured this box off for you guys. It's 12 inches long by 8.5 inches tall by 4 inches wide. So that's how much shelf space you're going to need if you're going to be displaying this in the box. Let's take a look at the sides. You can see Tokka right there, Rahzar on the side, and on the back you can see the two figures right here on the back, and then a little bio. But this bio actually doesn't tell you anything about Tokka or Rahzar. It actually just tells you about the Ninja Turtles, so there's really no point in reading up on that because you guys already know who they are. This right here, the other figures that come in these collections by Neca, the Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady, the Pizza Monster, and the Neutrinos. I have these two right here. I didn't end up buying these ones, even though I really like these figures right here. I just never came across them yet. But yep, let's go ahead and crack this baby open, okay, guys? Okay, now here's these two characters out of the box and all their accessories. You can see that each character comes with an extra pair of open hands right here. It comes with 2 meat sticks. It comes with a little meat platter, a fish head, and then a little communication device. Let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at these meat sticks right here first. You can see one's like a chicken drumstick and one's some kind of, I don't know what that is, some kind of pork tenderloin or something. But they're on the bones right here. Pretty cool. They can hold these in their hand. This right here is a little dead fish. I love the little color scheme. Even all the little black lines. That makes it look, you know, so much like the cartoon. Like it's been drawn, you know. That little turkey platter right here. You can see some sausage, little turkey right there. And I think some potatoes, maybe some cheese or something. But this doesn't come off. This is hooked to this little platter. Just cool stuff to put on the table. You know, make it look cool when you're displaying these figures. This right here is that little communication device. Like I said, all the little black lines really make it pop, you know. Let you know the difference between their cartoon collection that Neca does and then their movie figures. But Neca always does a really good job. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Tokka first, and then we'll take a look at Rahzar, all right? Okay, now taking a look at Tokka's extra hands first, you can see out of the box he has 2 gripping hands or fisted hands that he can hold them extra accessories. But then he has 2 open hands right here where he can kind of like he's reaching out at you. And you can see like that lime green, kind of like lime yellow skin tone color. And then he has like this mustard yellow nails right there. So if you want to swap those out, you can just pop off his gripping hands and slide these ones on. And now taking a look at the figure up close, he looks amazing. Looks like he just popped right out of the cartoon. I love how Neca adds all these little black lines around every different color that they have, the muscles and everything. I think that's really cool because Neca just does a really good job with these cartoon figures. Even their movie figures, they just always do a really great job. So no complaints, not for the price range for what they charge. This looks really cool. And I really like his shell. The colors that they chose, it's like tan beige right here, you know, this dark brown, like the color, the mustard yellow, and all these colors just really pop in well together. You can see like the difference between the light yellow and then like that mustard yellow on the back of his arms and stuff. Sorry about that, my camera was out of focus, but you can see it going all the way up his back, all the way to the top of his head. So that's really cool how they end up picking all these colors that end up, you know, meshing really well together. Now taking a look at his eyes, you can see his mouth does open up and you can see his tongue and his teeth right in there. And look at that beak, man. Really cool. Let's take a look at his articulation real quick, all right? Like I said, his mouth does open. His head does rotate around back and forth. He does look up about that far. And then he does look down about that far. So he does have good movement in his head to look all around. Now his arms, they do rotate all the way around up at the top, and they only come up to about here. And it's only because these little spikes right here, these little armored spikes, end up hindering his arms from coming up anymore. But they do rotate. They do rotate and go up like that. They also do rotate at the bicep right here. He does have double jointed elbows, but these little wraps right here, both on his kneecaps and on his arms right here at the elbow, they kind of end up stopping his, the double jointed elbow from end up moving up. But not a big deal for me. I do like these wraps, so no complaints. I like the way he looks with the wraps, so no complaints from me. His wrists do rotate around. Hands do go in. They do go out. Now, I can't get his arm to come up to show you guys, but you can kind of see it right there that his upper torso is meant to move around, to rotate around, and maybe have some kind of ab crunch, but you can't actually use it because of this shell right here is all one piece. Same with his back right here. It's all one piece, and the belt is glued to both sides. So he can't move anything because this isn't meant to move, but the inside of his body right here, you can see, is meant to rotate. So maybe he's meant to have like upper torso articulation, but it's not gonna, you're not gonna end up being able to use it because of this right here and because of the back, which, like I said, not a problem for me, no complaints. Now, taking a look at his legs, they do come up to about there. They do kick out to about there. They do rotate around if you need to move them. He doesn't have any kind of thigh articulation up here, but probably because it does rotate around here if you need it to. He does have double jointed knees. Like I said, this little wrap right here to his armored piece ends up stopping it from going all the way up. His foot does go up, it does go down, does rock back and forth. He doesn't have any kind of toe articulation. And I'm not gonna lie, lately I haven't really liked toe articulation for these like more heavier figures, because if they're too heavy, the toe articulation ends up making them like lean forward and fall. I noticed that a lot with the McFarlane multiverse figures, like the big mega figures, that if they have toe articulation and they're too heavy, they end up just tipping over. I have a man bat and I constantly have to pick him up off my shelf because he's such a big figure, but his toes are so small that he just tips right over and falls. So other than that, this is a really cool looking figure. I wanted to also take a look at that belt. Look at all the little ninja stars and skulls and little Foot Clan logo right there. Yeah, he's a really cool figure. Let's go ahead and move on to Rahzar, all right, guys? Okay, now taking a look at his hands first, just like Tokka, he ends up having two gripping hands or fisted hands right there for him to hold stuff. And then he has the same open hands, just like Tokka had. You can see right there, like the fur in the plastic. You can see all them little lines right there. That's basically his fur, because obviously he's a wolf. And then you can see his nails are painted. They even put that little black line all the way around his nails. Like I said, another really cool figure that Neca did, man. I just love Neca's action figures. They always do a great job. Now, taking a look at him up close, look at those eyes, look at the mouth. Really cool. His mouth does articulate too. It does open. That's pretty cool. I love all the little texture right here. You can see, obviously, like I said, he's a wolf, so you're going to see a lot of texture, a lot of fur. And even the fact that, just like they did with Tokka, you can see he has two different colors. Like the front of him is like a light brown, and then the back of him is like a dark brown, just like him with the two different yellows right there. So that's pretty cool, man. I like that they chose to do that. They don't just skimp on you. They don't charge you, a crazy amount of money and then just give you basically nothing, like the same molds over and over. I love how Neca ends up just, they treat us collectors good, because they know it's collectors who are buying these. So I love that. I love the ripped shirt right here, the blue, the ripped part of his shirt, this little front grill from a car. If you guys remember that Secret of the Ooze movie that came out in the early 90s, he was covered in like car parts because they were in a junkyard. So that was really cool. The spikes right here. I think the Playmates toy ended up having all these different spikes in the grill right there too. So, a really cool, homage, to them old Playmates action figures. Now, taking a look at his articulation, his head does rotate around. It doesn't go up very far like how Tokka's did. He only kind of looks straight, basically. He doesn't really look too far up. His head goes down about that far, so he doesn't have as much articulation as Tokka did, but the same articulation issue with the arms, these little pads right here. Like I said, not complaining. I like these pads. I wouldn't want them taken away. They do kind of move a little bit as you can see right there, but nothing enough to end up getting his arm in the air the way I would like it to. It does rotate in the air though, so you can move it around if you want. He does have bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows, but once again, the wraps, just like the figure we just looked at, the wraps end up stopping you from using that double jointed elbow the way you'd want to. This little chain right here on both hands end up rotating around separately from the rotation in his wrist. So then his hand does rotate around right here at the wrist, but this chain can also move. His hand does go in, does go out. Now you can see right here that he does have upper torso articulation. He can't lean too far forward, just like he can't go back very far, but he can rock side to side just a little bit. You know, you can twist his body if you need to. He doesn't have any kind of waist swivel right here. Now his legs don't go up very far. It's his, you know, this underwear right here or wrap right here, this green wrap that ends up stopping his legs from coming up. They do kick out though about that far. Go back about that far. And also, I think it's really cool that you could see like a more darker green than that green right there. They chose different colors. You know, like I said, the brown, the light brown, the dark green, the, you know, the lime green right there. So I think that's pretty cool, actually. I like how they ended up doing that. His legs do rotate around. No kind of thigh swivel or anything like that. He does have double jointed knees, which if you just push a little bit, you can kind of get him to go. But like I said, the wrap ends up stopping it. And then his foot does go up, does go down, does rock back and forth. No kind of toe articulation. And yeah, man, that's pretty much a look at Rahzar right there. I just want to take a look at his body one more time, because I like to show these figures all kinds of attention, man, because they just look really cool. They're just really cool figures. Now let's go ahead and do a couple comparisons for you guys, okay? Okay, now here's a comparison of a couple other Rahzar figures I have. This one right here is based off of the Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze movie. This one is also made by Neca as well. So you can see that they're almost about the same height. I ended up measuring him out. He's 7 1/4, so 7 1/4. And as you can see, he's obviously a lot more detailed. He's based off of the movie, so his fur is, has a lot more detail in it. Even his, his chest plate right here, that grill from one of the cars, all of his spikes, his chains, and everything like that. Obviously, he's meant to look more like the movie compared to him, which he's meant to look more like the cartoon. But this right here is a little side-by-side comparison. Like I said, they're both made by the same company, both made by Neca. Now, this one right here is from 1991. This one right here is made by Playmates Toys. And as you can see, they took a lot of the same similarities. The grill, the green underwear, the, these little circular armor pieces right here. Obviously, he has like a little cool rest in peace turtles. The weapon set is obviously different than the weapon set that Neca ended up coming out with. But even the little pads, which I'm missing some of them right here. He has a pad right there. He's supposed to have a pad right here, and he's supposed to have one right here and right here, but they end up coming off. Luckily, I have like 4 of these. I just got to break them off of another figure, and then I'm gluing them onto here. But yeah, this right here, you can see that they took a lot of the characteristics from these old Playmates Ninja Turtles and put them into these Neca figures right here. Even the blue shirt that's ripped and everything. So that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, you can see a lot of the same similarities. So, yep, right there's a comparison. Let's go ahead and move on to Tokka, all right? Okay, now here's a comparison of a bunch of Tokkars that I have. This one right here is made by Neca as well. This one's made by Playmates. And as you can see, this one's based off of the movie, along with that Rahzar that I showed you guys earlier. This also came in a 2-pack, also made by Neca. And as you can see, his detail is just amazing. Neca never skips on all the detail. The color in his shell on his chest, his eyes, the texture in his skin, his wraps, and everything like that. So you can see a big difference right here between cartoon and between movie. Looks really cool, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Neca just, like I said, always does amazing work. Now, obviously, he towers over this figure right here. This one right here ended up measuring at 5.5 inches tall. So quite a big difference from the Rahzar that he ends up coming with that ends up being, 7 1/4. So he's only 5.5 inches tall. And as you can see, he takes a lot of sculpting, a lot of work, but he's based off of this old Playmates figure right here. This right here is the Tokka that Playmates came out with in 1991, based off of those movie figures. And he actually is missing his accessories, his weapons, and he's actually missing a belt that goes right there that has a little Foot Clan logo on it, if I can remember. I just don't have it. But yeah, as you can see, it takes a lot of inspiration from the old 90s Playmates turtles right here, with the little spike on his kneecap, the wraps around his wrists and his hands, you know, almost like the color of him too. He's a little bit dark, obviously darker green than this lime one right here, but you know, they look a lot alike. Look at the face right there, same red eyes. So yeah, right there was a comparison. Let's go ahead and take a look at them all together, okay guys? All right, now I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the cartoon Tokka and Rahzar 2-pack. Like I said, these are made by Neca Toys. They're meant to go with your TMNT Neca cartoon figures. And I hope you guys enjoyed the comparison of the old Playmates figures and also the Neca movie figures. Neca never disappoints. They always do great work. They always make whatever figure they make it worth the amount of money you're going to spend on it. I never feel like I'm gypped buying a $30 or $40 action figure from them, because they always give you some great accessories and always some great sculpt and great paint work, man. So these are some really cool figures if you guys are Ninja Turtle fans. Now, if you guys liked the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below if you guys are going to buy these or if you already have them, or even if you guys are into Ninja Turtles, man, let me know if you guys collect these NECA action figures, because they're really amazing figures, man, and to display down here in the Cave of Wonders, man. But until then, you guys have a good one. Stay cool.